Welcome to Throttle Report. Today we have a 2018 Chevrolet Corvette Grand Sport. It has the upgraded brake package option. It is a convertible. It is in the Admiral Blue color. It has the Heritage package, which is the white stripe down the center and the red torch marks on the side. And today we're going to go take it out for a drive.
Check it out.
So it has a 6.2 liter V8 LT1 engine, produces 460 horsepower. What's crazy is on this car it has a functional like a hood exchanger, the heat exchanger. So the heat comes into the radiators down below, and you can see it come through here. See the radiator inside, and it exhausts the heat out the top of the hood. So on this car, we've got the black wheels with the red stripe, and you can see the carbon ceramic brake rotors. And we were talking about the brakes earlier while we were driving, and I knew they weren't Pilot Sport Cup 2s, but I thought they were Pilot Super Sports, and I'm trying to see where it is on here. Crazy. It does not say. Let's check the back. Oh yeah, see, Pilot Super Sport. Pilot Super Sport ZP, zero pressure. So that means if you get a flat, there's no spare in this car. You can drive it for about 30 to 50 miles safely and go to the tire shop and get a new tire. So we've been sitting here. Right now we're at the old place off Cornell and Agora. I guess Mulholland. And we brought the car here, and there were a couple guys on street bikes, and there's a guy cycling, and everybody, it was like a magnet, came to this car and was like, dude, is that the new Corvette? Like, no, this is not the 2020 Corvette, this is the previous model. And they were just blown away by the color, the stripes, the interior, the convertible, everything about it. I mean, when you look at it, it looks like a race car. I mean, and Chase was saying he thinks it looks better with the top down, which, you know, I kind of got to agree with, because that white Heritage stripe comes right down into the interior and comes straight up to the hood. And it just completes the look of the car. It just makes it look sleeker. It just looks a little meaner. And on this Corvette, it is a 2LT package. So they have a 1LT, a 2LT, and a 3LT. So 1LT is like your base standard Corvette, not a lot of options. 2LT, you start adding some functions on the seats and whatnot on the interior. And then 3LT, you get to like carbon fiber and red seat belts. And I kind of want to say it's a little obnoxious. It takes away from like the feel of the car. Like you just want a race car. So we went with the 2LT on this package. And we also went with the manual transmission. And this will probably be one of the last Corvettes made ever to have a manual transmission.
I would love to drive this thing. I'm not saying I'm going to, I'm just saying I would love to drive it, just because now I can feel like I got to be a part of history. But the Grand Sport is, you know, it's a lovely car. And I love how Corvette does this. It's the driver's car. If you look inside, the passenger's not allowed to do anything. Everything is shifted and angled towards the driver.
Yeah.
So the driver's...
The passenger can change their air.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. That's all you get.
This is as much as you get. You don't get to do anything else. You just get to sit and listen and feel the rush. Anything special about the headlights? Are they just normal?
They're LED.
LED bitchin' headlights?
Yeah. So at night, this lights up LED.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. I look at the Corvette insignia right there.
Yeah. No, the headlights, the whole front end. This, you know, when they were making this car, they wanted to call it Stingray. And the production or management team was like, we have to see what it looks like before we'll let it be called the Stingray. Because Stingray was the 60s Corvette.
Yeah.
Like the badass looking one.
Oh, those cars look great.
And they saw the car and they said, it's a Stingray.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can call it Stingray. That's how good it looks.
Yeah, as it should be called that.
Yeah.
You shouldn't take anything away from this car.
No.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, incredible.
That's why I keep going back. Like, I'm just...
Yeah, you keep walking around it.
Yeah, it's one of those cars where you, in my opinion, after you keep looking at it, it unfolds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, you see this line. Oh, and then this line. Oh, then this. And then, oh, they went and did this. It's like...
Yeah, you understand. Every curve has a reason.
Yeah.
It's all for aerodynamics.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has incredible downforce.
Jeez.
You want to go drive it again?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it!
Track mode engaged. So right now the exhaust is in track mode.
Is it, so now when it's in track mode, what does it do? Does it change the baffles and stuff, the baffling and all that?
Yeah.
And is
Yeah, it just makes it louder.
And so now, how many modes are there? Is there like just 2 modes? Because I
No,
remember
I think there is 4.
4 exhaust modes.
Yeah, so if you, you're not driving, go to menu, hit that menu button.
Going to menu.
Oh, that's menu for the stereo. Here, go back out, Try this home button. Yeah, engine sound
management.
Okay, so click it.
Very prestigious when they say.
And then, okay, so you have auto, stealth.
Ooh, stealth.
Tour and sport, and then all the way at the bottom, go down, track.
You're already on track.
Oh yeah, track all the time.
All the time.
And then go back.
Going back. What, just menu?
Yeah, just go back, hit the button.
Sorry, dude. Oh, look, you have steering modes?
Yeah, so go to steering.
Going to steering. Oh, you're already on track. So does it feel tighter?
It does, and that's why I like it in track.
I like that too.
Yeah.
I've always had it, when I'm driving my cars, I always prefer to hear the motor, because, or I should say the engine, because it's not a motor, it's not an electric motor.
Yeah, engine.
I prefer to hear the engine, because that way I know where the car is at when I'm going into corners.
Yeah.
You know, I can understand the sound, and then as far as the steering, I hate having that like extra, you know.
Yeah, sloppiness. I want it tight. I want it as close to as a hydraulic feel as possible, you know.
And then you were talking about earlier that this Grand Sport,
Get it?
This Grand Sport is wider, and the reason they do that is
wider than like a standard Stingray Corvette.
Wider than a standard Stingray, and they do that because obviously this is a track car, right?
Yeah, it has the Z06 suspension.
So now the slalom, I'm assuming, is going to be, and the skid pad will probably be better than the normal Stingrays and stuff. Wow, this thing sounds great.
It should be, and the brakes are just incredible.
And you have carbon ceramic brakes, right?
Yeah.
Ooh-wee.
Upgrade.
Upgraded carbon ceramic brakes. I don't know
if fact check it, but I think it was a $7,000 upgrade.
And I don't know if a lot of people have driven with carbon ceramic brakes yet. Wow, this thing gets it. Naturally aspirated.
And we're in like dummy mode. And once you hit 500 miles, it unlocks more power.
So basically, since this car has been so well taken care of and preserved, you're still not able to really...
No. It needs to get to 500 miles, and it needs an oil change, and then it'll open up.
Wow, that's actually pretty cool that Corvette does that. I know that when we were in the the oh my gosh, the McLaren,
Yeah.
that doesn't allow you to open the car up until it's to a certain temperature, which,
Oh, yeah.
so I don't know if that has the same thing, but I understand that
Just breaking in the engine.
you're breaking in the motor in this this Corvette. So,
Yeah.
so what is the history on, what's the history on these?
On the Grand Sport?
The Grand Sports.
So back in the day, early 60s, you know, Corvette was winning. It was winning everything. And Ford was just getting spanked, essentially. And
Right.
yeah, as you know, like the Ford v Ferrari movie and others, they turned to Shelby, and Shelby helped develop the GT40, the Shelby Cobras,
Yep.
the Mustangs, and get power. And then they started to win, and Corvette wasn't doing as well. And there was a guy named Zora, and he came into Chevrolet basically because he wrote him a letter. And he wrote them the letter saying, like, hey, I'm super impressed with the Corvette. I like this, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they were so impressed with his letter that they hired him on. Yeah, as like an assistant.
Old school interviewing
Old
right
school,
there.
yeah, as an assistant. And he went from assistant to, he worked his way all the way up to a manager.
Wow.
And then he just started running the program, and he came up with the idea of this Grand Sport Corvette, kind of like, you know, a race edition Corvette to go compete with the Shelbys. And they didn't really believe in the program, and they only let him build 5.
So they only built 5 in the beginning.
5 original Grand Sport Corvettes. I believe the year was 1963.
Holy,
Yeah.
wow. That's actually, you know, coming from like when people are building cars and they're doing their off production, you would think you would have a little more, you know, but no, I get it. They're only giving him 5 because
Yeah.
he's a new kind of,
Yeah, so they built these 5. They actually never got sold. I think they were supposed to be scrapped, and they snuck them out of the warehouse. Yeah, and gave them to
secret
friends.
mission.
Yeah,
Hey,
snuck them out.
quick.
Yeah, so they survived. And then years later, GM realized what a horrible mistake that was, and yeah, we should probably make these cars. And so the Z in Z06 comes from Zora.
oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's kind
and
of like,
Z51 and Z71 and all that stuff. It's like a special designation, as you know.
oh, that's really cool. That's
Yeah.
paying homage to him.
Yeah.
That's rad. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know, as they should, to what seems to be like an amazing car right now, because I know we're locked up with horsepower due to the low miles on the car. Yeah, they're only 300 miles, 320?
328 right now.
328. So we put,
4 miles since we've been talking.
I know it's got steering wheel and exhaust modes. Does it have a suspension mode?
Not that I'm aware of.
To tighten up the suspension at all? To make it feel like...
That's a great question. I don't know if it's got the magnetic dampers, you know, but I'm pretty sure it does. Just like the Denali and the other cars, you know, the fluid has got some floating metal in it, you know, and they can put an electric charge in there,
Yeah,
and magnetize it, and they
Yeah.
can change the viscosity of the fluid,
in order to...
and it changes the dampening.
So I'm curious if this thing has that. Let's see if this goes back. Driving mode. Steer. Yes, baby. Yes. God, that throws you back. I know it doesn't seem like it on video, but I love naturally aspirated cars.
Oh, it's
because
throaty.
it's so nice just to have the power. Obviously, when it's supercharged, the power is going to be there, but it's just
Everybody
amazing.
says that they prefer this Grand Sport with the regular naturally aspirated engine over the Z06, the supercharged one.
Is it just too much power?
I think so. It's similar to the C36 and the C43 of the W202s. Everybody says that that V8 engine in that small C-Class is just too much.
Really?
Yeah, that does not handle and feel as fun as the inline-6 C36 does.
Which makes sense because a lot of people I've heard say the same thing about their Porsches.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, with that.
We need Jared for that.
Yeah, we do.
Sorry,
Oh, man.
Jared, it's only a 2-seater.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're in the trunk somewhere that we haven't seen you. Maybe you're rattling around in the back.
That's a good one.
So we were talking about how do they normally make these in convertibles, and you said that the original 5, you said 3 were made convertible and 2 were made as a coupe.
I believe so. What my dad was telling me is that the 3, they weren't essentially a convertible, they just did not have a top. What's insane is the brakes. Like, literally, you just tap it.
That's
just a little tap, and it's like, oh!
As they should, because for a car that has this much, you know...
Yeah, 460 horsepower. I think it weighs 3,500 pounds. So it's an all-aluminum frame, and the hood's carbon fiber. Something else is carbon fiber, too.
Is there any fiberglass on it? Is it still fiberglass?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
But they're starting to use more carbon fiber.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, as the cost, there's a GT. As the costs come down for manufacturing carbon, yeah, I mean, eventually, like, you'll see a full carbon vehicle. In the C6 Corvette, the Z06, you feel it flex while you're driving it a lot.
Really?
Oh, completely.
So this is stiffer. This feels
way stiffer, dude. This feels so solid, and it's a convertible.
Yeah, which you would feel like you're going to lose some of that rigidity.
Yeah, but you don't. I mean, this car is just, it's planted.
Like you'd feel more twisting, but yeah.
You can hear the C6 Corvette creak as you're driving it. You can feel the panels moving.
That's crazy.
Yeah, in this car, you experience none of that.
It does feel dead flat.
See?
Oh, yeah, I love that. That sounds great.
No, it just feels solid. You know, a lot of people complain that earlier Corvettes felt cheaply made, you know?
And I can understand that.
Yeah, I understand it.
That, but
this one takes it to another level. We were debating if it had suspension control. We talked about steering wheel control. We had exhaust modes. We did not know if it had suspension mode.
Because we were going all through the computer up here.
Yeah, through the computer, and we didn't even look down. And right here is the modes. Right now it's in sport. I guess that's the default because that's what it was in. And
so this is what we felt. This is what I felt earlier,
this
right
is what
now.
You felt
okay,
earlier.
good.
Yeah,
I need to know my comparisons right now.
Yeah. So now rotate it over. Now it'll move to track mode.
You can feel the little bumps.
Now you feel all the little bumps.
Yep.
Right?
Oh yeah, way stiffer.
Oh yeah.
Way better. Way more better. Oh dude, yes.
No, yeah, you feel it, right? Like all the little jitters.
Yep. You can definitely feel that. I like it.
Yeah.
So cool. I'm glad one of the things that we were looking for, and to not my surprise, why wouldn't Corvette and Chevrolet offer that?
Yeah. And it's got to be that magnetic dampers.
It has to be. I mean, if they have it in their car, in their trucks, they're gonna. Wow, you can. It is definitely a different car.
Right?
It's a different car.
Like 100% noticeable.
And I'm pretty sure from your end, you can even feel the car like you got a little more control.
Weight just tight. Even the steering feels tighter. The whole car just feels.
Do you feel like the tire? Do you feel the tires more?
I feel everything
That's
more.
Awesome. So now you
I mean, even in the passenger seat, can't you feel it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But when you're steering and you're pointing the nose through corners,
obviously.
It just feels better.
But
we are cruising,
dude. It does make it feel
like a different car.
Oh yeah, completely with just the switch of a dial.
Then you will have an opportunity to hit the bottom because it is going to be create more stiffness. So things will be more of a shock.
Yeah, I love when that exhaust note opens up.
My gosh.
Every time I get in this car and drive it, I like it more and more.
I could assume that.
Right?
Seriously, dude. Yeah. And I can tell you one thing. I'm not a big convertible fan, but I do like the feeling of outside. Because, like, you know, you see on some of our other videos, like when we're riding dirt bikes.
Yeah.
I love that when you feel like you're out of the cockpit kind of feeling.
Oh, yeah.
So that gives you that same impression when you're in a convertible.
Yeah.
Which is not my first choice, is to have a convertible. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Oh, he's on the gas.
Use the right pedal.
It's got a little bit on decel.
You know what sucks is that in the couple years, like let's call it 20 years, there's not going to be a lot of these loud noises anymore.
No.
Like just the way things are going and all the car companies changing over to electric, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like,
This is like the last of the classic Corvette. Front engine, manual,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm
V8
saying.
naturally aspirated.
that's what I'm saying. Like
This is going to be the last of it.
you're like driving an old unicorn right now.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know,
And that's why this car was purchased specifically, because it's the Grand Sport, it's Admiral Blue, it's got the heritage package, the correct colors, and it's a manual, right? It's a front engine. Like this is the last of, like the first era, call it, of Corvette.
that's
Because now it has changed.
it's forever changed.
Yeah, and it's never going back. What do you think? Great day?
Great day. Great day. Thank you for joining us again on another episode of Throttle Report. I'm Chase.
I'm TR. Like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.
See you next time. Hit the button. Hit the button.